calm conspiracy tonight, we delve into one of the most gripping and controversial conspiracy theories in modern history: the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. On November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was fatally shot while riding in a motorcade through Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas. The event sent shockwaves through the nation and the world. Officially, the Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in assassinating the president. However, many believe there is more to the story, suggesting that a larger conspiracy was at play. Let's explore the claims and evidence that have fueled these theories. First, let's revisit the scene of the crime. As President Kennedy's motorcade passed the Texas School Book Depository, 3 shots rang out. The first shot missed. The second struck Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally. And the third was the fatal shot that struck Kennedy in the head. Oswald, an employee at the Texas School Book Depository, was arrested shortly after the assassination and charged with the crime. 2 days later, Oswald was shot and killed by nightclub owner Jack Ruby, deepening the mystery and fueling suspicions of a cover-up. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence for conspiracy theorists is the Zapruder film, a home movie shot by Abraham Zapruder that captured the assassination in detail. The film shows Kennedy's head moving backward after the fatal shot, leading some to argue that the shot came from the front, not the rear, where Oswald was positioned. This has given rise to the theory of a second shooter on the grassy knoll, a small hill in Dealey Plaza. The Warren Commission's conclusion that Oswald acted alone has been challenged by many. Critics point to inconsistencies and gaps in the Commission's findings. For instance, the single bullet theory suggests that one bullet caused multiple wounds in both Kennedy and Connally, a scenario that skeptics argue is implausible. This theory is central to the Commission's assertion that Oswald acted alone. But many believe it is a stretch to explain all the injuries with a single bullet. Another point of contention is Oswald's background. Oswald was a former Marine who had defected to the Soviet Union in 1959 and later returned to the United States. His ties to the Soviet Union and Cuba, as well as his involvement with pro-Castro and anti-Castro groups, have led some to believe that he was a pawn in a larger Cold War conspiracy. Some theorists suggest that Oswald was a patsy, set up to take the fall for a crime orchestrated by more powerful forces. The involvement of Jack Ruby further complicates the narrative. Ruby's murder of Oswald on live television raised immediate suspicions. Ruby claimed he acted out of anger and grief over Kennedy's death. But conspiracy theorists argue that Ruby silenced Oswald to prevent him from revealing a larger plot. Ruby's connections to organized crime have also fueled speculation that the Mafia played a role in the assassination, possibly in retaliation for Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime activities. Various conspiracy theories suggest the involvement of different groups and motives. Let's explore some of the most prominent ones. The CIA theory. Some believe that the Central Intelligence Agency orchestrated the assassination due to Kennedy's perceived lack of support for their covert operations, particularly in Cuba. The failed Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961 was a major embarrassment for the CIA, and Kennedy's subsequent actions to limit the agency's power may have fueled resentment. The Mafia theory. The theory posits that the Mafia had motives to eliminate Kennedy due to his administration's aggressive stance against organized crime. Attorney General Robert Kennedy, the president's brother, led a relentless campaign against the Mafia, which may have prompted them to take drastic action. The Soviet or Cuban theory. Given the Cold War context, some theorists suggest that either the Soviet Union or Cuba orchestrated the assassination as retaliation for American actions, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, or attempts to assassinate Cuban leader Fidel Castro. The military-industrial complex theory. This theory argues that powerful interests within the military and defense industries conspired to kill Kennedy due to his attempts to de-escalate tensions with the Soviet Union and his plan to withdraw U.S. troops from Vietnam. These actions were seen as threats to their influence and financial interests. Now, let's delve deeper into some of these theories and the evidence supporting them. The CIA theory. The Central Intelligence Agency had a tumultuous relationship with President Kennedy. After the failed Bay of Pigs invasion, Kennedy reportedly told his advisors he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. This tension, coupled with Kennedy's moves to limit the CIA's power, has led some to believe that the agency saw him as a threat. Theories suggest that rogue elements within the CIA, possibly in collaboration with anti-Castro Cuban exiles, orchestrated the assassination. Several CIA operatives, including E. Howard Hunt, who later became infamous for his role in the Watergate scandal, have been linked to the assassination conspiracy. Hunt's alleged deathbed confession, in which he implicated himself and other CIA operatives in a plot to kill Kennedy, has been cited by theorists as evidence of the agency's involvement. The Mafia theory. The Mafia had several motives to eliminate Kennedy. The Kennedy administration, particularly under Attorney General Robert Kennedy, was aggressive in its pursuit of organized crime. High-profile Mafia figures like Sam Giancana and Carlos Marcello were targeted, leading to significant disruptions in their operations. The theory posits that the Mafia, feeling threatened by the Kennedy administration, decided to take drastic measures. Jack Ruby's connections to organized crime further fuel this theory. Ruby was known to have ties to the Mafia, and his killing of Oswald is seen by some as an attempt to silence the alleged assassin and prevent him from revealing the true masterminds behind the assassination. The Soviet or Cuban theory. During the height of the Cold War, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union were at their peak. Kennedy's handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis and the continued attempts to overthrow Fidel Castro through covert operations made him a target for retaliation. Some theorists suggest that the Soviet Union or Cuba orchestrated the assassination as a means of striking back at the U.S. Lee Harvey Oswald's defection to the Soviet Union and his pro-Castro activities have been cited as potential links to a foreign conspiracy. Some believe that Oswald was recruited by the KGB or Cuban intelligence to carry out the assassination. The military-industrial complex theory. In his farewell address, President Dwight D. Eisenhower warned of the dangers posed by the military-industrial complex, a coalition of military and defense contractors with significant influence over government policy. Kennedy's efforts to reduce military tensions with the Soviet Union and his plans to withdraw U.S. troops from Vietnam were seen as threats to the interests of this powerful group. The theory suggests that elements within the military and defense industries conspired to assassinate Kennedy to maintain their influence and ensure the continuation of lucrative defense contracts. This theory gained traction following revelations about the significant escalation of the Vietnam War after Kennedy's death. As we explore these theories, it's essential to consider the evidence and counterarguments. The Warren Commission's report, which concluded that Oswald acted alone, has been the subject of extensive scrutiny and criticism. The House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, which reinvestigated the assassination in the 1970s, concluded that there was a probable conspiracy, but did not definitively identify the conspirators. One of the most contentious pieces of evidence is the Zapruder film. The film has been analyzed frame by frame, with some experts arguing that it shows signs of tampering or alteration. The film's depiction of Kennedy's head moving backward after the fatal shot has been cited as evidence of a second shooter. However, other experts argue that the head movement is consistent with a shot from behind due to the neuromuscular reaction. The single bullet theory has also been a focal point of debate. Critics argue that the theory, which posits that one bullet caused multiple wounds in both Kennedy and Connally, is implausible. They point to discrepancies in the trajectory and timing of the shots as evidence that multiple shooters were involved. Proponents of the lone gunman theory, however, argue that forensic evidence supports the possibility of a single bullet causing the injuries. Lee Harvey Oswald's background and behavior in the months leading up to the assassination have also been scrutinized. Oswald's time in the Soviet Union, his interactions with pro-Castro and anti-Castro groups, and his movements in Dallas all raise questions about his true motives and connections. Some theorists believe that Oswald was a patsy, set up to take the fall for a more complex conspiracy. The involvement of Jack Ruby adds another layer of intrigue. Ruby's killing of Oswald eliminated the possibility of a trial and the potential for Oswald to reveal more about his actions and connections. Ruby's own background, including his ties to organized crime and his statements about his motives, has fueled speculation that he was part of a larger plot to silence Oswald. The role of government agencies and officials in the investigation has also been questioned. Allegations of withheld evidence, tampered records, and manipulated testimonies have led some to believe that there was a deliberate cover-up. The CIA, FBI, and other agencies have been accused of concealing information that could have shed light on the true circumstances of the assassination. The psychological and social factors driving belief in conspiracy theories are complex. People are naturally drawn to explanations that make sense of chaotic and traumatic events. The assassination of a beloved president, especially one as charismatic and visionary as Kennedy, creates a profound sense of loss and uncertainty. Conspiracy theories offer a way to understand and cope with this loss, providing a narrative that explains the seemingly inexplicable. Moreover, the secrecy and intrigue surrounding intelligence agencies and covert operations create fertile ground for conspiracy theories. The idea that powerful, unseen forces manipulate world events taps into deep-seated fears and suspicions about authority and control. The assassination of JFK, with its myriad unanswered questions and suspicious circumstances, serves as a perfect canvas for these fears and suspicions. In recent years, advancements in technology and forensic science have provided new tools for analyzing the evidence. Digital image enhancement, acoustic analysis, and other techniques have been applied to the Zapruder film, the audio recordings, and other key pieces of evidence. While these analyses have provided new insights, they have also sparked further debate and controversy. For example, acoustic analysis of recordings from Dealey Plaza suggests the presence of additional gunshots, which some interpret as evidence of multiple shooters. However, critics argue that the recordings are inconclusive and that the perceived gunshots could be attributed to other sources. Similarly, digital enhancement of the Zapruder film has been used to argue both for and against the presence of a second shooter. The enduring appeal of the JFK assassination conspiracy theories lies in their ability to capture the imagination and provoke critical thinking. The assassination remains one of the most significant and impactful events in modern history, and the questions it raises about power, secrecy, and justice continue to resonate. As we conclude our exploration of the JFK assassination conspiracy theories, it's important to remember the value of skepticism and the pursuit of truth. Whether you believe in a grand conspiracy or accept the official account, the search for answers encourages us to critically examine the world around us and to question the narratives we are presented with. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of the JFK assassination. Stay tuned for more explorations into the realm of conspiracy theories on Calm Conspiracy. Together, we will continue to seek the truth and uncover the hidden stories that shape our world. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on our next journey into the unknown. Sweet dreams, and may the mysteries of the universe whisper gently in your ear.